Hey, what's going on with you? You're on with Big J. Hey, you know what time it is. Let's talk. And we have today's member host coming on with us. That's D-Mac. Get ready. We're about to have a bomb show. Hey, what's up? What's up? What's going on with you, D?
Hey, how you going? How you doing today, brother?
Hey,
It's a
man, I'm doing all right.
blessing to be here.
Yes, sir, man. I'm gonna try a couple of things. Let's see what happens. Oh no, that ain't working yet. So we got some stuff that we working on, man. As this thing goes, hey, ain't nobody's gonna be like us, Doc. It's coming, man.
Hey,
So
that's it, man.
how's everything going with you, man?
Oh man, everything's going great, man. It's been a beautiful day today.
Yeah, yeah,
Had a
yeah,
good
yeah.
service today and got a good word and just feeling good, man. Feeling
Right.
good.
That's what I'm talking about. I see you got the Redskins behind you, man. You a Redskins
Yeah,
fan?
yeah. I am. I was born in DC, so that's the hometown team.
Right, right,
Yeah,
right, right.
definitely. You
Okay,
see,
all
I
right.
covered up the Redskins part because I want to be politically correct. I don't want nobody to be offended, so I had to
Yeah,
cover
yeah,
that
yeah.
up.
Yeah. Hey, man, let me say this about you, brother. I thank you, man, because you've been supporting this channel from day one, man. You came on, you're doing the things that's necessary for us to do what you saw do today. That even that little bit, man, but becoming a member, you see how we're growing and what's gonna happen. You see, we're not
Yeah,
doing this regular. It's gonna be something, it's
absolutely.
gonna be something big each week. Each week, we're gonna bring something out that lets those know who are in the audience that we're gonna bring you good content and sports news and information. And did you see any of that game today with or see the reviews of it with Charlotte?
Yeah, I did. I saw some of it, man. I saw what dude clothesline Lamelo. I said, hey, but it's good to see that dude going in the paint, even injured, man. That dude is
Yeah,
still going in there, taking that hard contact like that.
right,
That just lets you
right.
know what type of mentality he got. So, and
Exactly.
and then
And
afterwards, when he did the interview,
right,
most guys come in there, they sound all somber and stuff. No, he was upbeat. He
right.
was like, we still got a chance. He still got that upbeat tempo. So yeah, I was
Right.
like,
But you know what it made me think of, man, Doc? It made me think of what you said earlier, D Mac, is that in the midst of all this, there was no big man threat to come to his rescue. You know what I'm saying?
man,
PJ Washington act like he wanted to go over there and do something. Because hey, if you notice, that clothesline was reminiscent of what happened to Kirk Rambis many years ago. And nobody stepped
exactly.
up or didn't. I'm like, okay, man, a fight about to break out. It's about to go down, but nothing happened, man. What you think about that?
See, that's the thing. They don't have that rapport with each other yet, to
Right,
where you're not gonna hurt my man. You know what I'm saying? They
right,
don't have that yet, to where they feel like they need to defend this guy. But if
right.
that's the leader of the team, everybody's gonna defend the leader of the team. He's building that respect, but he's not. He hasn't gotten it yet from these guys, and that's not good.
Hey man, how he landed, he could have ended up injured again because his knee could have hyperextended the way he landed. I'm like, man, somebody needs to step up and get this cat's back, man. You know?
Exactly. All of those guys who swear that they his little homie and this and that,
Yeah,
those guys need
yeah.
to really show it out there on that court. Step up for him.
Right, 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 right. So I want to get into today's narrative, man, because you are our host today. I'm gonna moderate for you with the comments in the chat, and I'm gonna also speak back with you. So man, take it away. Hey, we're on with D Mac. Let's hit it up.
Hey, well, today we watched a game where the Hornets had a tough loss, and the subject comes up, the importance of an inside threat. But before I get into that, one thing I want to do is I want to give a salute to Kobe Bryant, Kevin Garnett, Tim Duncan. Those guys were inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Yes,
His
sir.
wife did a great job. Michael presented. It was awesome thing. But that gives a good segue into what we're talking about, because Kobe Bryant understood the importance of having a big man.
Yes, sir.
Kobe Bryant understood it, that inside threat was going to free him up to do a lot of things on the
Yes,
perimeter
sir.
and free those guys up to do a whole lot more, and cause the defenses to be in habit. Kobe understood that. He made the
Right.
necessary moves to get Shaq,
Right.
and those guys went on to create history.
Yeah,
They
you're right,
made
man.
history. And
And
in particular with big guys, and what Charlotte needs, I wanted to kind of talk about Vernon Carey Jr., man.
Okay.
Vernon Carey Jr. I've been watching this guy, watch some film on him, and I'm liking what I'm seeing out of him. He has that intensity, he has that big man attitude that's
Right.
needed.
Right.
And you know, they need to bring this guy up as soon as possible. I know they're still
Right.
developing him and things like that and working out some things, but man, he has that ferociousness in the middle that those guys need
Yeah,
badly.
he has that dog. He got that dog, man. He big time.
Yeah,
And I see what you're saying, D-Mac, because here's the reality. The Hornets just look like a small team. They just
they
look
do.
like they got a bunch of three-point shooters, and that's it.
Exactly. And see, Vernon, he's what, 6'9",
Yeah.
270.
Uh-huh.
He's not the tallest guy, but he's got that weight to bang around. His dad used to be
Exactly.
an offensive tackle.
That's
So
right.
this guy he got that big bone structure and he know how to be aggressive. And
Exactly.
that's
He knows
exactly
what it
what they
is.
need,
Yes.
man. So I like Vernon Carey, man. He's out of Duke, even though I'm a Carolina fan. But hey, he's still in the vein of North Carolina, so I
Yeah,
can
yeah,
pull
yeah.
for a Duke. But
Right.
I like him, man. I really like him.
Okay. So you
So what
feel
do you think? Go
no,
ahead, go
go
ahead.
ahead. No, no, go ahead. Go ahead, D. Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna ask because you know you got Brandon Carey, but there's also some more guys that's going into free agency. Some other big men that would be a nice pickup for Charlotte.
Right.
Have you seen any of these guys? Like JaVale McGee. He's on his last years, but JaVale can come in and he can mentor a young guy like Vernon Carey,
Right.
and he can also give you some good minutes while
Yeah,
doing
yeah,
so.
yeah, yeah.
Right? He
I
coming
like
in.
McGee. Yeah, I like McGee because he's a gazelle, yet being a bull, running up and down that floor. You know what I'm saying? And that makes a big difference, man. When you have a bull that can run up and down the floor, whoo! Hey, we want to give a shout out to 9 days for the $4.99 super chat. He says
Shout out.
too many threes. Go ahead on that, D Mac. He said they taking
Too
too many
many
threes.
threes. And see, that's where it goes into the argument of we need that big man down low because they know that they had nobody down low to bang. They
Right,
they sometimes you just need to be able to dump it off to that big man down low because you get tired of running around everywhere and trying to set up plays and you just need that big man down low to just lob it down there to him and let him just go up strong. And
right.
all you're gonna do is foul him. You're gonna foul
Yeah.
him and send him to the line.
Yeah, and
You
that,
know,
you know what
and
they'll do? You're right, but that will give you, like you said before, that will give you a consistent pick and roll with LaMelo Ball. You're on point today, man. You cooking, man.
all day long, man. This is what I'm seeing with these guys. And when I look at these centers, that's exactly what I'm looking for. What is going to match up with LaMelo? What is going to match up with the way Charlotte is trying to go? They're trying to have this running team, this fast-paced team. What type of center is going to be good for that system? You know, and these are the things I took into consideration when I'm looking up these guys. And also we've started this thing of where we're looking overseas a lot more. We're
Right,
looking in the Euro League a lot more at some of
right,
these guys, pulling these guys from the Euro League. So
right.
there's some guys overseas right now, some big men that are looking really good in those leagues. And I'm not the smartest dude in the world. I know the Hornets have guys that are looking at these people and stuff like that. But I was looking at a couple guys overseas, and I'm like, man, how did we let those guys go over there when they
Look at
should
poor
be here
look
on everybody's
look at
team,
look at
man?
Porzingis with Dallas. Look at when he
Yeah,
was with the Knicks, and look at him now. 7 footer, real legit.
exactly, man. They got this guy, what's his name? Othello Hunter. He played for
Yeah,
the Maccabi Tel Aviv.
yeah.
Man, that dude is over there wreaking havoc, man.
See
I
what I'm
seen this
saying?
dude, and he's got that ferocity of a Giannis. You know, and
Right.
he's a big body. You know, then we have what's the Nikolai Maluntinov or something like. Sorry about messing up your name, brother, but Nikolai Malutinov. This guy is a star over there.
Hey,
He's
watch Watch this, D. Let me get this right quick. I'm moderating for you, big man. I got Kendrick Kendrick Moore said this. Devontae Graham folded again. We're just not gonna say today he folded. Watch this. He folded again. When is he not gonna fold? Then he says this. Kendrick said this. Devontae, let me go back up. We're in a 6-game losing streak, and yet everybody keeps saying they clinched the playoffs. That's what we've been saying, D. But I'm gonna get back to the big man. Go ahead, Doc.
Man, as far as I want to address that about Devontae a little bit, man. We all know what needs to happen with Devontae Graham. Everybody knows it's the elephant in the room. It is the literal elephant in the room, man.
Yes,
JB knows, Mike knows, the team knows. But nobody really wants to say it. They want to turn their head. But Devontae's got to go, man, because this is not what the team needs. He wants to have that role. He wants to have that go ahead or the green light.
Right.
But he's not finishing. He's not closing games. He's not bringing up the morale and motivating the team when need be. If anything, he's fading into the background.
Right.
Same thing with Terry sometimes. They'll fade into the background instead of stepping up and motivating the team.
And the thing is, you're right, because here's the thing. It's all about who they play. If they play anyone in the East, everybody's going to come out and ball up. But if they play anyone in the West, they become shrinking violence. Go for it, man.
Man, that irks my nerves. I remember when I played high school football, man. I hope any non-conference game, we 6-0. Going into conference play, as soon as we get into conference play, they fold because they're scared of the reputation of the teams, or they don't feel like that they're equipped enough to play.
Right.
No, you have to go in there with that dog mentality. They have to have that dog mentality. That's what separates the great teams from the mediocre teams.
Right. Hey, you know what? Hey, 9 days just put some. 9 days is cooking, man. Listen what he said. We don't want to watch the little engine that could in basketball.
No, that's not what we need. That's not what we need. We need like we were saying the other day, to give Melo the green light. You go ahead and start building your program around him, because I see Vernon Carey, Miles Bridges,
oh my God, that boy playing.
Melo, and maybe Hayward or somebody else to fill in right there. That's a good, solid, young, hungry team. Those are some players that's gonna go out there and fight for you. That's what you need, those fighters, those dogs. And like I said, going back to Vernon Carey again, I hate harping on this guy so much, but this is what Charlotte needs. He's in the G League. It's so frustrating to see him down there doing what they need up here. It's so frustrating. But this guy, he's got that mentality, and I think he's that big man that will get them fired up, because he's the one. He's gonna go, hey, don't touch my point guard. Don't be running up on my guard. Like, he's got that mentality. That's what they need.
Yeah, because when LaMelo took that shot, man, and he got clothesline, I'm watching. See, I'm from the old school. I know you are too. I'm looking for somebody to get kicked out and come to his rescue. When I saw no one, just jumped up real quick. And listen, man, we about to do this thing, man. We're already losing, like Nine said. We've lost 6 games in a row. We're not about to deal with this. Somebody bring somebody off the bench who you don't need to clock that cat for doing that. Hey, then Kendrick Moore said this. He said Graham needs the yellow blinking light. Yellow blinking light. Don't know why he think he got the green. Man, these cats is cooking.
But to be honest, if they had a big man, though, that would eliminate a whole lot of those problems, because one of the issues is not getting those second chance shots on the offensive boards. You know what I'm saying? If you got a big man that can grab those rebounds and kick it back out, if Melo misses one, he's not going to miss it twice. And I will say the same thing for Terry Rozier and Devontae Graham in a lot of instances. If you got somebody banging those offensive boards and kicking those second chances back out to them guys, they're going to drain that. And that's something that's heavily missed.
And you know why you're on poor D-Mac? It's because I just thought about something. Well, LaMelo Ball drove to the hole. If there would have been a big man down there to set a pick
Mm-hmm.
or to set a screen. He would have never got hit. But the big man was playing at the top in that stupid. I'm gonna leave it alone. In that offense. Hey, but Macrina said because some of them on the team ego showing they got nothing. They're just there. They just it's I don't know, man. I don't want to mess with. Oh, whoa! Somebody said 9 said here you go, D-Mac. 9 said you saw how UD checked Dwight Howard the other day. That's right.
Yeah, Udonis Haslem.
He
was in his face like he was the little man. Like he was looking down on Howard. That's exactly the attitude that's necessary. And some people will look at it as, oh, he's being over aggressive. No, sometimes that's what's necessary because these guys need to know that you're here. You're not gonna push me around. You're not gonna treat my teammate any kind of way because you gonna have to see us.
That's right.
And that's how you gain that respect with these guys. I remember Allen Iverson was telling a story about when he first came in the league, the way Jordan talked to him when the first time he talked to him. He called him a little B, know. And then after Allen went out there and he earned his respect, those guys started to talk to him accordingly and started to address him accordingly.
Hey, what was the guy's name that played for the Sacramento Kings that his wife followed him all the way everywhere he went? And he got into it with somebody on the Lakers, and his wife and him went down in the tunnel to squabble with him. I cannot remember that guy's name. He played for the Lakers, then he played for Sacramento. And his wife used to always get him in fights. I can't remember their name. Oh. Let me read.
That last one, Kendrick. He said, finally, JB keep Melo in the fourth quarter, crunch time. But JB ain't build that confidence with Melo to do that, taking him out the whole season in crunch time where he can feel comfortable in those times. And that's why Devontae has to go. Because we talked about that last time where he's built a rapport with Devontae and he's promised Devontae a lot of things. But then when Melo got there and then they realized what they had in Melo, all of those things that he was promising Devontae is kind of disappearing and going away. And Devontae is feeling some type of way about it. That's why Devontae has to go, because there's going to be too much friction and resentment from Devontae Graham for not getting what was promised to him at first.
And it's already happening.
Yeah.
Yep. Hey, that's right. That's right, 9. You're right. Doug Christie. But them cats, them cats were dogs, man. I never forget. Matt Barnes wanted to go after Kobe. I'm like, but Kobe, nothing fazed Kobe, but he wanted to go after him.
All of those guys, anybody who was a championship caliber player has that dog in them.
Right.
That's just period. That's competitiveness. That's the competitive nature. And, as a teammate, if you value your teammate, then you're going to be there for your teammate.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, do you really think that Charlotte deserves to go into any type of playoff situation?
Not this year. No. For one, they don't have any depth on their bench.
Right.
And, going into the playoffs, that's a key thing. If you don't have depth on your bench, you don't have a strong 6 man coming off the bench, then, your odds in the playoffs is very slim because your guys are going to get tired out.
Right.
So I really, I think YT said it the best the other day. I really have many expectations for him this year as far as playoffs. Nice to see him running for it, but really don't expect to see no success until next season.
Right. And I'm agree with you today, D-Mac, because in my opinion, my humble opinion, I believe, like you said, that if there would have been a center, there's no way they would. You allow Bradley Beal, who's injured, who's beat up, to beat you. Because now watch this. Everybody's throwing their body at LaMelo, but nobody threw their body. I'm not saying hurt this guy intentionally, but he's hurt. I'm not saying push him down to the floor, but he's injured. And you're letting him take free. Come on, man.
Make him think twice before he come in that paint. Make him think twice before he try to do any of those things. Yeah, you have to. And that's the role of the big man.
Like you say, that's the inside threat.
And one thing
Be-
that I was noticing when I was looking at those highlights today, everybody crashed into the paint. They crashed the paint. They lived in the paint because there was nobody in the paint to really be a threat to stop anybody. You know,
Wow.
that was one of the biggest things I saw about today's game.
Right. You
He
got a
was
comment on there?
let's say JB is not a good coach. He has no game plan. That's the general that's the general consensus out there. He looks lost sometimes. He
Right.
does. And when you get down into those final minutes, like the other day, he kept Melo out. This game, he kept Melo in. Why? Because he's getting more pressure or because it was the right thing to do. I think JB is kind of winging it sometimes. He shoot from the hip sometimes. And,
Right.
you know, I saw somebody else say that he should go back to the college level and coach down there maybe, but he's not ready for the
Right.
big time. Kendrick
Yeah.
says, I don't understand how we up the whole game, and with 3 minutes left in the fourth, we lost it.
They were
Man,
up
that's you
16,
see this
man.
behind me. You see this team behind me.
Yes,
I've
sir.
been dealing with that for over 20 years, man.
Yep. Yeah, they
The
were up,
same
man.
way
They were
I've
up
been dealing with them
16.
guys like that.
Man, they
Yeah,
were up 16.
but see,
Wow.
the thing is, they don't have that fourth quarter mindset. Melo has that fourth quarter mindset. It was instilled in him. It was taught to him. But a lot of these guys, they get to that fourth quarter and they don't
Right.
have any more gas in the engine, and you know the morale is down, and whatever the
Right.
case may be. And these
Right.
guys can't close in the fourth, and that's another reason why you need that big man. Because if
Yeah.
they had a big man, they would still have some energy left over in those fourth quarter, those last 2 and 3 minutes. That big
Exactly.
man take away some of that.
Hey, you got some more. You got some more comments, big man.
Okay. That's 9 days to victory.
Yes, sir.
Says I say they need the playoff taste. It will help grow the team and weed out the fake players. I want to see who steps up to the challenge.
Oh, that's a
That's a
big
real
challenge,
good point.
man.
That's a big challenge.
That's a big
Uh,
challenge.
with all of these young players, I mean, I know somewhere in their life, a lot of these guys come from winning teams, whether it be in college, high school, wherever. They've been to big games. They understand that, but just on this level, it's different.
Right.
It's more intense. I understand that, but you know, whether they go this year or next year, I really don't see much difference. I mean, if they go to the playoffs this year, they get beat in the first round. What are they really going to learn from that?
Wow.
What
And
I
you're right.
mean,
You know what? Nine disagreed with what you said. He said this. I think Lonzo never making the playoffs stunned his growth. And I'll add to that, hurt his game, because I think you're right. But see, the funny thing about that, Lonzo, LaMelo, Leangelo, they went 35 and 0 in high school. And I know that's not college. But then Lonzo, his first year at UCLA, I believe he got him to the Big Eight or into the four tournament. So he knows
mm-hmm.
about winning. You know what I'm saying? And then and LiAngelo Melo know about it. But it's just something about these coaches, man. And here's Macrina saying what you said earlier, D-Mac. She agreed. She said because they're trying too hard to hit threes, which are not falling. They're tanking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah,
No big man.
no
No
big
big
man.
man. Yep.
Everybody know that they're going to try to be an outside threat because they have softness, they have marshmallows on the inside.
Yes, sir.
So as long as they got those marshmallows on the inside, everybody is going to just make those perimeter shooters try to beat them.
Yes,
You
sir.
know, and that's a real good point. Let me see what Kendrick say. We have a bench. JB rotation sucks, and players he should have gave more of a look at on the court. He didn't. Same sorry player rotation. You're absolutely correct. I mean, the Martin twins, if you get those guys really, really involved, man, they can give you some good minutes.
Right.
Um,
Right.
and, and Biak, was I can't pronounce his name. He comes in, he gives you some good stuff, but overall, you have to have solidified players and
Right.
solidified spots.
Right.
And I think Charlotte don't have anybody that's like The only definite player they got right now is LaMelo.
Right.
Everybody else is questionable. Everybody else is replaceable. Everybody else is a conversation for trade.
But do you
And
know why we couldn't win that game? D-Mac, you know why
why?
we couldn't win? What we were talking
Why?
about last week, that stupid zone defense in the fourth quarter. You couldn't shut and watch this. Their three-point shooter, he couldn't make his threes either. But then Bradley
Yeah,
Beal started taking over, and they're playing that slow rotation zone defense. And because they're so slow on that and they get lost, they get burned. This is the only reason I said the fourth going into the playoffs, I would not want to see him get filleted like this because it's 5 or 6 games that they lost based on defense, not offense.
and
That's
that's
the
no
sad point.
communication. I see a lot no talking. I see no communication
Exactly.
between them dudes. I see nobody has faith in each other. Like, all right, I know my boy gonna slide over right here, so I can stay on him a little tighter right here. Because I know if he try to go around me, my man gonna they don't have that confidence in each other yet. So that's why
Exactly.
I said playoffs for them this year really wouldn't benefit them much. They really need to get some team rapport and learn each other first.
Yep, you're right. And watch this. Watch what Kendrick just said. Go ahead, big man. Go ahead, D-Mac.
Nine say Charlotte is an easy team to defend. Instead of playing fundamental basketball, they always go for the knockout with those threes because they don't really have any other choice.
Yep.
We don't have any other choice. All you
Yep.
got, the only weapon they have is the three. They don't have no big man inside. So the only weapon they really have is a three.
Hey, make sure you
That's it.
smash that like. Make sure you smash that like button. Hey, watch this. Kendrick's about to answer what you just said. Go ahead.
I'm talking about Vern Carey and Grant Riller.
Yep. Yep.
There you go.
You got cats who were dominating the G League. You put them in once or twice, they mess up once or twice, or they're not at the level where you think they should be, and you sit them down. If you would have played those gentlemen significant minutes with LaMelo Ball during the season, you would have an entirely different roster and rotation to bring off the bench. You are suspect now because you're playing mediocrity, and what happens? Everyone knows what you're going to do. If you're going to go right, they know they're coming right with you because they know your system. That's what coaching and scouting does. JB is the easiest scouted coach in the league because he never changes. He does the same thing over and over. His repetition is not even repetition anymore. He's singing a song that we all know. It could be part of the choir.
You're scared to take a risk. That's the
Yes,
problem.
sir.
They're scared to take a risk, and by them
Yes,
being
sir.
scared to take those risks, they're cheating themselves out of a lot of growth and a lot of things that they can discover as far as talent wise that they have.
Yes.
That was a really good point. That was a really
Yeah.
good point. They're scared to take those chances. Now they took a chance on Melo, and it turned out favorable for them. I think they're scared to take another chance, but they really don't have anything to lose. They have
Right.
absolutely nothing to lose.
Right.
Take a
Right.
couple chances. If it don't work, readjust and then go with your game plan.
There
But
you go.
you gotta take them. You gotta take them.
Right. Hey, so what happens now? We got to win 2 games in that play-in tournament because giving up that 8 seed to Washington, they just put their backs against the wall. They got to win 2 games now going into this play-in tournament. It's not like it was before, man. I'm feeling sorry for them.
If those two teams they play got a big man that's worth anything,
Yeah.
they might as well hang it up.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
Might
Right.
as well hang it up. If they play any team that has a big man that's worth anything,
Yeah.
it's gonna be a wrap. I hate to
You're
say it
right.
like that, man, but that's just what it is right now. That's where they are.
Right.
Until they get a solid big man who can be an absolute threat and take some of the pressure off of that perimeter and
Right.
free them guys up to really make some
Facts.
moves and get that extra pass in, then
Facts.
it is gonna stay struggling.
Right. And that's what I did on one of my shows the other day. I said the NBA is exploiting mediocrity because right now they get to make money based on everything that's going on. Right now, you got a team who lost 6 games, D-Mac, and you keep
6 of
putting
them.
all over the internet that they click. How did they clinch the playoff?
They
Tell
clinched the
me.
AFC. Yeah, yeah. But that's that. Like they said, they want them to be seen in a favorable light, man. And I'm a Hornets fan, but I also believe in reality of things, and I'm going to
Right,
look at it from a realistic standpoint. We ain't clinching nothing playing like this. The morale is
right.
down. Everybody's seeming like they're not on the same page. JB still trigger shy. And nah, as long as he keep playing like this, they're not gonna do anything. He's scared of the risk of losing his friendship with Tay, not the risk of losing his priorities messed up with this messed up. This is a business.
Can,
Absolutely right.
can,
Absolutely right. You got to take your emotions out of it. That's like with the whole Tebow thing and Urban Meyer bringing Tebow. That's all emotional and stuff
right.
like that. Just a waste of time, pretty much. But sometimes, yeah, they get caught up in emotion and stuff like that, and it's not necessary. And friendships are going to be lost. Friendships are going to be tested. And if you're a real friend, then you're going to understand that this is business and this is not personal.
Right.
So friendships is set aside when you're trying to find a championship. When you're going for a championship and you're trying to build a team and you're trying to keep your job, yeah, friendship set aside.
But see
This is
that, but
business.
but see, D Mac, that's what, and then we're gonna get to this comment. That's what mediocrity does. It allows you to cheat, manipulate. Watch this. On this channel, we already said it. Every membership, anything that's done, you see it now. Our whole profile has changed on our live. Everything we do is given back to the community. All right. So, and it's the
Absolutely.
same thing. But if there's no standard or no precedent set how you operate and facilitate, then JB's
Mhm.
gonna manipulate Tay. Tay gonna manipulate him. Then watch this. You put Tay out in front of your entire team, and you sit next to your rookie star as though you want him to know Tay is the man. For what reason? Unless there's something we really don't know. Hmm.
Mhm.
Unless
Well,
there's
that's going to
something
hurt them
we
more than
really don't
help them.
know.
That's gonna
Yeah.
hurt them more than help them because if they mess around and let LaMelo Ball want to leave Charlotte, then what do they have to build on?
Nothing.
They
I'm
have to
sorry.
go back to square one, where they was at the
Yes, sir.
beginning.
Yes, sir. I'm a Charlotte fan all the way back, man, predating Lonzo, Grandmama,
Hmm.
all that. But the reality is, they need to make some decisions right now. 9 days says this: you keep putting Biz and Zeller in the lineup, and tell us you really want to win. They are not rotational players, man. Listen, these guys are cooking. Them comments are real. They are not. Watch this. When your fans begin to know what goes on, and you as a
Hmm.
coach don't know on Houston, we have a problem. Hmm.
See, this team needs it. Who's that? Teo Feek
Yeah,
Saka.
Taufik, yeah. Uh-huh.
It says this team needs a new direction. A new direction. I kind of like I kind of like the direction that they're going in as far as being a running team, but that's not going to happen as long as you got Graham and Hayward. Hayward's going to slow you down. Biz is going to slow you down. You need some runners. With the guys you got Bridges, you got Terry, you got Mello, and you throw Vernon in there, which Vernon is a running center. He can get up and down that court with those guys. He's young, got those young fresh legs. I kind of like that direction as far as making them a running team. They're young, energetic, and if they get those guys on the same page, then that'll be a force to deal with. But
I
trying to play the
right,
like you said, the zones and slowing the
right.
game down with these young energetic guys is just not meshing.
I think Tafik is right because it's like this, and you might agree with me. Look at the Lakers. Let's use a team who's been at the top of the pinnacle of basketball success. Right? The Lakers
Hmm.
found something out. We don't want to develop players. This is what they
Yeah.
found out. We want to get players here now who can take us to the top. i.e. LeBron James right now, right? So what
Mm-hmm.
do? They get rid of Brandon Ingram, good player, but they don't want to
Yeah.
develop him. They get rid of
Yeah.
Julius Randle. Look at him in New York
Mm-hmm.
now, but they don't want to develop him. They get rid of Lonzo Ball, who finally found his
Mm-hmm.
shot. They didn't want to develop him. But see, here's the rock and the hard place. And I agree with Tawfiq because they have to find out direction. Do you want to be a win now team or do you want to be a development team? Because you got these stars in the G League sitting on the bench, yet you don't want to develop them. See, I'm looking at a whole different perspective, D-Mac,
Yes.
that's
Yes.
confusing me. Do you want to develop a team under LaMelo and with LaMelo, or do you want to win now? Because if you want to win now, you get rid of Graham, you get rid of PJ Washington, you get rid of Biz, you get rid of Zeller. I'm sorry, you're gonna find a way to make Gordon Hayward eat that contract. If you want to win now and go get you some free agents, but if you want to develop, you still get rid of all those guys, and as you said, go with your young players.
And see, that's the thing. That's what I'm talking about as far as these G League guys, and what we was talking about before about nobody wants to take the time to build the team anymore.
Right.
They want this microwave championship team, go grab you a big three or a big four, and then make a run at it. Nobody's taking that time to build a young team, take a young team, develop them together,
Right.
and build that rapport and that harmony as a team.
Yes,
and,
sir.
and nobody's taking that time because they want it right now.
Facts.
So
And
as long as we're in this microwave generation,
exactly
then this is what we're gonna have to deal with, and we're gonna have guys talking trade ASAP. I'm like, dang, the dude been in the league for 20 minutes and they already talking about trade. Why? Because they want somebody that they don't have to develop.
all right.
Well, that's taken away from building these dynasty teams. We're not really going to have any
Exactly.
dynasty teams anymore.
Exactly. Right. Look what Kendrick said. He said, "Is a friendship worth your job?" I guess in this case it is. I know Devontae wouldn't give up his job for JB. Here you go. There go one from Aunt James.
And James says it feels like the star players like Melo, Miles, Terry, and Monk, much as they want to go to the playoffs, they are willing to sacrifice playoffs to get Borrego out of here. Borrego needs to be fired.
They see what I see.
Yeah,
he cooking, right, man.
You know, I've been trying. Let me see. I wonder who JB gonna blame instead of himself in his interview. You know, I've been trying to give JB the benefit of the doubt. I'm that guy that's going to give you the benefit of the doubt until you just give me no more reasons to defend for you.
Right.
And JB is running out of reasons for me to defend him, man. I'm really good at, if I was his attorney, man, I would recuse myself now because I'm running out of excuses for the man. You know, he's it's like you've been given everything in the world that you need, but you just don't know what to do with. It's like a child being given something that's out of the reach of a child. It's out of your reach for a reason.
And right where you are, what you said is true because Kendrick said this. I wonder who JB gonna blame instead of himself in this interview. Bam, that's it. He cooking. That's it.
Man,
because
JB,
what?
JB,
go ahead,
you know, he's really good at redirecting the blame. He's really good at redirecting the blame. He just needs to come out and say, hey, I need to sit back and reevaluate some things, and I take it on yourself, man. Take it on yourself. These young guys, you already got a strained relationship with the team, and this, like, the whole team harmony seems to be off. So anytime he goes out and blames anybody, that's going to cause instant tension and friction within the organization. So he needs to get away from that blaming thing. He really does.
Man. And James just said it, man. He said only Tay-Bay, the Martin twins, Biz and Zeller want Borrego to stay. They will not have an NBA job once the Borrego is fired. No, after another NBA coach might want them. And he's 100% right, man. It's true. I had one of the guys tell me last week, I think it was 9. I don't know who it was. We were talking about personality disorder. And if you spell Borrego's name like most people misspell it, it's like an alter ego. One Borrego says, you know what, LaMelo, in my interview, he's the best. He's the best we have. We need him. He's great. Then the other Borrego said, well, the kid takes too many shots or the kid does this. Man, that would frustrate me. That would get me frustrated if I was a player on that team. I don't see how anyone would want to play under a coach who don't know what exit he wants to get out on the freeway. Man, what we gonna get off on? I don't know. We just driving. Man, I don't know. Get off the freeway. I've been on this too long.
Hey, 9 days made a great point. He said Phoenix and Atlanta, they did it the correct way. They developed their youngsters and then bring in the vets to lead them to the next level. That's why I was saying about Vernon Carey, and you go out there and you get a daggone JaVale McGee. JaVale McGee is going to come in. He going to help develop that youngster, and he going to give you some quality minutes on his way out the door. You know what I'm saying?
That's
exactly what they need to do.
And he can run, man. That's the key. He's like a gazelle. I'm telling you, that cat can run. And like we talked about last week, I just feel his issue is with his asthma being back in Denver, where he struggled before, but he also ball. You get him to Charlotte, where the weather and everything is totally conducive and different. You'll see you'll see the old JaVale McGee again. That's just me.
Well, he's coming up, so he'll be a free agent. So they might want to look into getting that because that's a real good asset to their team. That's what they need. A big man with some experience who's been there, who knows what it takes to get to those late playoff rounds and stuff like that. And able to mentor this young kid.
Facts. Yes, sir.
Looking like he's gonna be a beast.
Yes, sir. Yeah. But like you said, man, if Charlotte does not find out or know how to go out and get a big man, we're going to struggle. It's going to be a continuance of struggle because they have to put in play right now. You can't wait till the playoffs is over or what's going to go on next season. This is why you have a managing staff and people who work and operate. They should already be looking for another coach. They know they got to have a big man who has a presence, a threatening presence in the middle. Those things should already be done right now. So after the playoffs, when you fire James Borrego, you either know you're going to bring in D'Antoni, you're going to bring in Jason Kidd. You already know who you're going to bring in.
Got Doc Rivers.
Exactly.
Doc is still available. Look at Terry Rozier face. Our usually 30-plus points clutch player been looking so disgusted in his face and look out of it. No more swag. He's frustrated, man. He's just as frustrated as everybody else because he know what they can do as a team, and he looking at Borrego like, man, you messing it up. And so he getting frustrated, and Terry just kind of, whenever morale is down, that's something that people don't pay attention to. When the team morale is down, people are frustrated and going through these nagging injuries and stuff like this. It's frustrating, man, and it's hard to be able to bounce back. It's hard to be that clutch guy sometimes when you see your coach sabotaging your team.
Yeah, man.
That's one of the hardest things to see.
Yeah, that's what Tafik just said. He said, man, Big J, you're right. The Hornets need a championship DNA vet like JaVale McGee because Hayward's bum butt ain't it. since the lost man's like the team needs Hayward when he's slowing LaMelo development. And I'm gonna say this again, man. Who gave that man $120 million? I'm 6'2", 340. I'll go down there for $2 million to try to play. Who gave that man that amount of money? Man,
especially when you have guys, man, you got guys over in Europe right now, big men that, man, you can go get them for pennies on the dollar.
Yes, sir.
Really and truly. You can go and get those guys for pennies on the dollar. And you're not going to pay them as much as you're going to pay some of these guys that's in the league who don't produce half as much as these guys over here in these European leagues.
Yeah.
So
you're right.
I go over there and get me one of those guys with the name that got 42 different letters in it, and you can't pronounce nothing. But that guy's over there just crashing them boards. That guy's over there just blocking shots left and right.
You're right, man.
And they can get that guy and they got Vernon Carey, and then they'll still have a little bit of money left over to get a older JaVale McGee who know he's on his way out the door, so
Right.
he just wants a piece of change before he leave, and he can mentor those guys. That would give you some depth as and in the big man area, and he
Right.
can develop. Man, it's so many things that these guys. I'm not the smartest cookie, but if I can come up with this stuff, we're sitting here coming up with ideas that their team should be implementing right now. That's frustrating. Let's see what 9 days saying. If you want to see how Charlotte plays, just press rewind. That's why they losing. Well,
The
shit,
pass.
I had one
The
of those
pass.
Borrego defenders tell me the players on the team love him. He is better than George Karl, Larry Brown as a coach. You know, being politically correct and
Exactly.
having tagged in front of the camera does not equate to loving the coach. And
Right.
some people get that twisted. If I don't agree with my coach, I'm not going to badmouth him in front of everybody. I'll be like, okay, I love my coach, but behind closed doors, we're going to have some talks. That's just
Right.
proper etiquette.
Right.
But, that's
The
TV.
one way you can tell, all the players did that phone video about a week ago. Anybody see that? And that phone video was really talking about the reality that goes on in the locker room. And LaMelo said, "Somebody, if you see my friend outside, you can tell because he got black gloves on." Who he was? He was talking about Terry Rozier. So it was like a
Yeah.
bag. It was a bag. If you go back and see the whole video, they even threw Borrego on the bus. See, I've learned to read into this stuff, man. When they and that told me, LaMelo said, "Well, you see my boy outside, my buddy, he had black gloves on." and then and then Rozier tried to make a bag say he just played too much. See, they were trying to be melodramatic with it, but there was some truth in it. And somebody
Yeah.
said something about Borrego, I just can't remember. But here's the key. And I believe what he said, then we're gonna get to Kendrick's comment. If
Mhm.
you go back and look at the past with that defense, remember Miles Bridges went off on one of the coaches and said, "Man, we need to get out this stupid defense and run man to man." And when they ran man to man, they won. But then
Mhm.
why did they go away from what Miles said if it was the truth? So behind closed doors, someone else is calling these shots outside of Borrego that set Miles up also. Hmm.
Michael? Is it
Somebody,
Michael?
and I seen Mike slap Malik Monk up beside the head. He
I,
slapped him.
I saw that too. Let's see. Kendrick said they talking about they hate the play-in idea. They better be grateful for it because they would have been at home in the recliners thinking what could have been eating popcorn kernels watching the playoffs. Yeah, yeah, true. But really, I'd rather have Melo sitting at home right now, fully healing, because everybody he's out there playing hurt right now, and that's admirable and all, but we don't want our rookie franchise player out there playing hurt in his very first season.
Exactly.
Because God forbid he mess around and have an injury or re-injure that wrist and he can't come back from it. What then? You're
Right.
gonna call them the stupidest team in the world for putting him in that situation. So I'd rather have
Mm-hmm.
them sit out the playoffs this year. We know they ain't really gonna go that far anyway.
Right. Look at what Tyreek said. You mean the Syracuse zone defense, the autopilot defense? And here's the thing about that again. If you have slow men on the floor, short men who cannot complete the rotation, and they leave part of the zone open, big teams like the Clippers are going to kick that tail every time. You have to be fast running the zone. That's the same
Mhm.
thing even in football. If you're going to play man up or cover over, or you cover two, cover three, you have to have fast players. You cannot have players who are too short and not fast. Because what you're going to do, you're going to cause other players to be a liability because they can't react in enough time because they have to cover someone else, i.e., I'm sorry, Rozier and Graham. You know what I'm saying? Now,
Mhm.
let's get to the comments, man, because these comments are important. Let's get to these comments.
Yeah. Ant says today on Twitter, Monk basically hinted he not happy with Borrego when said bad times don't last forever. Mm,
Wow.
mm, mm. I got
Woo-hoo.
you. I got you. And that's true. That's true because they know more than we know. They hear stuff in the locker room and they got an idea what's going on. That's probably why Borrego put LaMelo in for the whole fourth quarter. He's
Right.
fighting for his job.
Right.
I saw a few reports on coaches who are in the hot seat, and Borrego is definitely in that hot seat.
But did
Just
they put
because
his
they
name
took
on
him,
there?
nah, they said he was safe, but nah, that dude is not safe.
Ah,
They said that too early. They
that's
said
like
that too early because
I read a report.
this
Yeah,
6 game losing streak, nah, Borrego is not safe.
I read a report that they said they were considering re-signing Graham. That's why I say, man, they got some major issues, in Biz Town, man. They got some major issues if they're going to talk about re-signing. Nine said this: soft teams usually shoot a lot of threes. Charlotte avoids the smoke in the middle. There it is. That's what you said, D Mac. They don't want to deal
Yeah,
with the
but
middle.
you look at Golden State. Golden State, they really don't have like a, a, a big time big man. That's why they had to be a 3 point shooting team. That's why they had to have a Clay. That's why they had to have, they were that outside shooting team. And
Yeah,
they never really put much focus on the big man in the middle. They have a big man down there, somebody that can just a big body that can get in the way and disrupt some things while Curry set up for his three. That's all they needed. They didn't really need no dominant big man. They just needed
right,
somebody to get in the way for
right,
Curry and Clay to set up.
hundred
But
percent.
you got a team like Charlotte. If they're going to be that perimeter team like that, they still gonna have to have a big man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
They're still
yeah.
gonna have to have somebody that is
Facts,
enough of a threat for
facts,
people to turn their head for that 1 second for them to set up
facts.
for that shit.
Let's read these
So yeah.
comments, D Mac.
What Kendrick said, I want him home, but I do want him to be the first rookie to make the playoffs. LeBron and Luca didn't even do that, but I understand where you're coming from. Yeah, I'd love to see him to make that feat. That would be an amazing achievement, but I don't want to do it. I don't want him to do it at the risk of his health and the
Right,
rest of his career. I'd
right,
rather have him sit back and there's so many other achievements that he can make. There's so many other records that he's gonna break as
right.
long as he's healthy, and that's the
Yeah,
most important thing. So, yeah, I feel
yeah.
you. Let's
I
see.
would.
And Tim said,
Go ahead.
"I'll go ahead.
No, no, you good. Go ahead.
If they could even let that tall assistant coach take over for the play-in with Melo on the bench, I believe Terry, Miles, Monk, and Vernon is starting. We'll get to playoffs.
Yep. That's
Hmm.
interesting. That's real interesting. Hey,
That
because
is.
we've seen it happen.
Hey,
And his own point. We've
I
seen it
believe if
happen.
they gave, I believe if they gave Vernon that opportunity, man, that guy was seasoned. He was
Yeah, we've
seasoned. He hasn't been plagued with injuries. He comes out of an elite school. Duke is an elite school,
exactly.
and for they Duke is one of the top of the top. So if they can really, really get him in the mix and get him in their system and used to it, get him some playing minutes, man, to where he gets that rapport with them guys,
Right.
that is something that would be interesting to see.
Right. Hey,
Let's
make sure
see.
you hit.
Answer
Make sure you just smash that like button for us. Go
Hit
ahead,
that
Doc.
like button, hit that subscription button if you haven't already. Let's see. Ant says that tall assistant had them competing against the Clippers at the end of the game. You know,
That's true. That's true.
that is
But
that
I'm finna
is
give
so
you,
true.
but I'm about to give you one right here, D Mac. How you gonna handle this one? Because I believe 9 days right here, 100%. How you gonna handle that one right there?
LeVar can do better than Coach.
I believe it.
I
People,
believe it for the
people might
simple
laugh
fact
at
that
me.
LeVar is not scared. LeVar has that energy that will translate to his team. That's one of the things. LeVar is larger than life. His larger than life character. He's not gonna let them guys believe that they can be beat.
Yep.
The same way that he did his boys' team, the same way he did Chino Hills, he's gonna have that same character, that same mindset. And if he can get them to believe him, oh, he would definitely shake up the NBA. And I
I know
think
what I know where
he would take risks.
I
He
know
would
we're in
take
Wonderland
chances.
right now, but hey, I can really see that happening. Folk might lead the chat right now, but live. But let me tell you something. I believe that man, if LeVar got those guys, get rid of Biz, get rid of Zeller. He don't need no lightweights. I'm not gonna call him what I want to call him, but he don't need no light in the pocket dudes. Get some dudes in
No.
there who might not be stars, but yet they're grinders. See, all you did when I coached high school football, man, I didn't need guys who were perfected already. And most of the times I was looking for game bangers. I'm just looking for grinders who didn't care if they got hit and was willing to hit somebody else.
Yeah.
I can teach. I
You
can
look
teach that.
you look at the teams that LaMelo played on. All them dudes
Right.
was dogs. He's
Right.
always been coached like a dog. Not in a
Exactly.
bad way, but he's been coached to go and get it. He's been coached to never let up. All of the teams that he's played for that LeVar coached,
Right.
those guys were straight dogs from the beginning buzzer to the last double zeros on the clock. Them guys was coming hard and coming at you, man. And if
Exactly.
he brought that intensity to a NBA team, a young, fast NBA
Yep.
team,
Yep.
man, that's
I
where the league is going, man. They don't. That's one of the reasons they don't want LiAngelo in there,
right.
because if those guys can find a way to get together and start running on those teams and not giving them the opportunities to do that slow setup and get back, man, the NBA is gonna have to change so many things. So,
Man,
yeah,
let me tell you
nobody
something.
wants LeBron.
Let me tell you something about that game today. That dude was told to take that hard foul on LaMelo because
Yeah, oh yeah.
Washington needed that game any way necessary. And
Mm-hmm.
remember when they were over playing the JV USA and dude hit LaMelo. LaMelo is like his daddy.
Mm-hmm. He was
He
up
got
in
some.
his face, ready to fight.
Hey,
Yeah,
come on
he was
now.
ready.
He,
He
he
was ready to
slapped. I'm gonna say
swing.
like my mama said. He slapped the taste out of old boy's mouth.
He did. He did, man. But that's
Hey,
the fire that's
I was
needed,
looking today
man.
like, okay, what's coming? Nobody coming to his rescue. He gonna slap the taste out dude's mouth.
Hey, that right
Wow.
there let me know, because that let me know that, oh, he's not timid like Lonzo. He got
Right.
he got some scrap in him,
Right. But
and
yeah. Do you know what I
that's the
think
whole
though?
thing the Hornets team need, man.
I think what happened to Lonzo was the baby factor. With old girl from his high school sweetheart, she getting
Mm-hmm.
pregnant. He got to become a dad. Watch this, man. He has to become a father, and he's not even finishing being a son. Now you have to become a father, and you don't know what a father is. Your father taught you how to be a man, but he didn't teach you how to be a dad. That's something you
Mm-hmm.
learn over time with experience. And this young man now has to take on the character of trying to be an NBA star. Everything that was built up about him with Magic Johnson and everyone else and the Lakers, and now he has to be a dad, and then he's going through things. He has to move, has to uproot his little daughter and his family. Man, I can imagine that was a whole lot for that gentleman. So I think he got it in him too, but I think sometimes a lot because he got Demo with him, so a lot of that
Yeah.
broke a lot of him down, and it will do
Mm-hmm.
that, man. If you got somebody in your ear always talking about what we need, what's going on. I love my family, and I know me and Letter family. But the reality is, man, if you always got somebody in your ear with that drama, that'll wear you out. Ant said
And
this.
then he says, right, we all could coach better than Borrego. He couldn't even win with the Jordan Bulls team, the Kobe and Shaq Lakers, or the LeBron Wade Bosh teams. He doesn't know how to stay out the way of the stars. That's a control thing, though.
There you
I
go.
think that's a control thing with Borrego.
Right.
He doesn't want to let go of the reins. He wants people to know that he's in charge, even at the detriment of the team.
Mm-hmm.
And that right there is not conducive with what Charlotte is trying to do. Mike knows
Right.
that. Mike knows what type of coaches he had to have in order to become the championship team that they were. He
Right.
knows that Borrego is nowhere near being cut from the cloth of the
Mm-hmm.
coach he had.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what Mike is thinking right now, I don't know, man, but I hope he's looking at some of these other coaches that are available.
Right. Here's my only issue is, and I think we discussed this last week, D Mac. Michael Jordan as a player, would he ever allowed James Borrego to coach him? And
No,
if he feels LaMelo is his future, why is he letting watch this? And LaMelo is a star, like he was. Why is he letting Borrego coach him?
I
That's a
think he's
question
trying
to
to
the
get.
chat.
I think he's trying to get Borrego out of there, but he's trying to be kind of strategic about it.
Right,
You know,
right,
um, there's like I said, there's a lot of guys coming up, and as we know, they probably won't let Kerr leave Golden State. But if
right,
Kerr was to leave Golden State, who would he go to play for before anybody else?
right,
His teammate Mike. You know, if
right,
you could get a
exactly.
Kerr down there in Charlotte, man, that would be crazy.
Right.
But that's kind of far fetched. But hey, hey.
D'Antoni. D'Antoni, I'm telling you, D'Antoni. You
You
know,
think
what's the
D'Antoni would be a good fit?
I'd be and only because he's a player's coach, and he what he did with Steve Nash was similar to the offense that they ran at Chino Hills. You know what I'm saying? And I would love to see them get rid of Gordon Hayward's contract somehow and give LaMelo that 20 million a year. That's I mean
Mm.
Lonzo. That's what I would love to see and bring D'Antoni in. Oh man, Ant says this. Michael Jordan seems to have lost his desire for championships. His 6 rings, his 6 were enough. He needed that championships hunger. That's gone. Basically, you're right. He's too busy playing golf and selling clothes. 100% right. They
Mm.
had to make him come to the game to really see what LaMelo has to offer. They had to basically make him. Come on, man, check it out. And because he wasn't
What's
doing it.
gonna make What's gonna make Mike hungry? What's gonna get under his skin? Knowing Michael Jordan and the way his competitive nature, but now we have to translate over into the owner's realm. What is gonna spark Mike up enough to get that fire going under him to really make those decisions that he needs to make?
They need to make
Is
it to the
it?
second round. They need to make
I,
it. If they make it to the second round, I think that'll spark his interest and get him going.
let's
See,
see.
because what? Go ahead.
Now it says coaches who about business don't play favorites. His style is going to divide the team.
It's already done that. That's right. You can see
Yeah.
it. Watch this. LaMelo the other day was rubbing his hip and didn't play after the third and fourth quarter. It wasn't his hip. LaMelo said, I can't say what I want to say on here. YouTube will get me. But LaMelo will say, you know what? I ain't going back out here with these cats. They not putting nothing into it. Let
Yeah.
Devon, let Tebe do it. I'm good. I'm sitting here. Oh, my hip
Yeah.
hurt. Oh man, my hip
Why
hurt.
would I
Oh,
go
my
out
hip.
here and jeopardize myself for guys who ain't playing as hard as me? You know,
Exactly. Exactly.
and that's a bad place to be in as far as a team.
Right.
Every team that I've been on that has accomplished anything, we all had the same mindset.
Right.
We all had the same goal, and we had an understanding of what it was going to take, what sacrifices everybody was going to have to make in order for this to happen. We understood that going in,
Right.
and we didn't whine about it. We didn't cry about it. We made the adjustments necessary and just did what we had to
Right.
do.
Right.
And our coach always told us, anytime you leave 100% out there on the court, I don't have no problem with it.
There's a quote I used to always tell my team before the season started because they know they were going to be driven hard because we didn't want to lose one game. There's not a man that can help being born average, but there's not a man who has to stay ordinary. That's a choice.
Absolutely.
But when it comes to the
Mm.
fundamentals of sports, that man doesn't have that choice because it's up to the coach. And what that coach is doing right now, he's keeping his team ordinary. When you watch this, when you lose 6 games and you're excited to go into the play-in tournament, somebody's keeping you ordinary. Well, LaMelo Ball is saying, man, I'm not average. I'm not ordinary. I've been this dog since I was 3 years old. What's going on? See, but there's nothing or no insight to push. Borrego don't know nothing about the streets, no real ball. Borrego need to
Nah,
go up to
man.
he need to go up to New York for a week. Put him on the blacktop, man, and let him coach a couple of them teams for a little while.
Man, I'm
I'm
telling you,
sorry.
LaMelo Ball, LaMelo is like a Ferrari with 10 speed brakes, man. You you trying to slow this dude down, man. That's the worst thing. This dude is built for this. He's
Yeah,
built for
yeah, yeah, yeah.
speed. He's built
Exactly.
exactly for this right here to be
Exactly.
flashy, to be fast, and to attract attention. He's that Ferrari with 10 speed brakes, and you keep on trying to push those little 10 speed brakes. That's Borrego.
Exactly. Because what he's doing, he's coaching. Watch this. He's coaching greatness average from an average perspective. There's no way you can do that. You can't coach greatness from an average perspective. It's not going to work. What you're going to do, I think Nina, someone just said it, you're going to divide the entire team because what you're going to do is this. You want to take greatness and make it fit in with average. So now you're hurting LaMelo to please Devontae. Man, this cat, these are general things that we learn in life with our kids. Oh, no, you can't go play with them, baby. I know you're there, but we're trying to do something a little bit different. That's what LeVar did. So what I'm going to do is to make sure my kids and everything around them is greatness, I'm going to bring them in and make them inclusive to my family. So I'm going to help Eli get to college. I'm going to help all these other guys on our AAU team get to college. But Borrego is saying, listen, let's take greatness and pull it down to average so I can look good.
Exactly. And that's stunting the growth of a lot of these players who need to really step it up, and they're right there at the cusp of that next level.
Exactly.
But Borrego is holding them back with his apprehension, man. It's frustrating.
Yes,
But the
yes.
the team also need to hire a better sports trainer. Players on this team that had too many injuries to key players. Yeah, I can agree with that to a certain extent. But a lot of times that comes with like their diet and some of these guys don't have their man body yet. You know, these dudes are still 19, 20 and stuff. They still long and lanky and they haven't really filled out into their full big boy body yet. So some of these little nagging injuries is just gonna come just simply off of that. But you're right. You're right. A lot of injuries and stuff. The trainers have to be mindful of those things. You know, like we was talking about the other day, the body control whenever they're out there, certain ways that you land. There's certain things that you do to keep that all of that pressure off your knees and stuff like that. They do need somebody in there that's really, really helping these guys with that. Because I feel like if that would have been in place, then Melo probably wouldn't have got hurt like that. Right. You know, that's just kind of putting it out there. But yeah, I agree. Let's see what Ann say. We need the type of sports trainers that kept the Jordan Bulls team in great physical shape and minimum injuries during that 6 championships run. Well, the thing about those guys back then, I say they aren't as soft as these guys now. Back then, those guys could take a hit and get back up and be all right. Nowadays, the dude take a hit, he got to sit out a quarter, or you know, it's like their bones are brittle or something. Like they not getting enough calcium. They need some milk or something. These dudes are not built like they was back in the day, man. Like you were saying, you see guys get their teeth knocked out, they scoop their teeth up and put them in the cup and keep rolling. But now you know how many games did Kobe play with his fingers taped up, his ankle taped up, and you know the sleeve on to help his elbow. Man, these guys was just built like that. But these guys nowadays, man, they get hurt so quick, and it's like the contact that hurt them so bad was something that would happen to my 5-year-old, and he'd get up and dust it off. So when you have that at play, you got these soft, brittle bone dudes.
Right.
You know, you're gonna have to deal with all these injuries.
But you know what, this year, D-Mac, I think with no true training camp, with the accelerated season, now with all these teams in the plan, it's just not the Charlotte Hornets. We're watching games every week where someone's breaking a leg, someone's ankle is messed up, someone's arm is messed up, someone's finger. Every week, there is a major injury that's making us say, "Oh!" Every week is something going on. And that's because there was no true. Remember, the Lakers used to go over to Hawaii for 2 weeks. Teams used to
Yeah.
go over. There's no true training camps. This is why they said a lot of the G League players couldn't play because they were not developed and trained. So I think one of the biggest things is the NBA after the pandemic, and bless everyone whose family who went through the COVID protocol and COVID-19. We want to pray for you and say that we pray that God stayed your family and that everyone is all right. But after COVID and the protocols, now with things getting back to normal, they can go back in and start training camp. There you go, big man. That's from Ant.
Yeah, he said, right, Patrick Ewing and Hakeem the Dream. I don't remember them being hurt like these centers today. X Embiid, AD, and Cat. Yes,
Facts.
man. Exactly. It's like every other game these dudes is hurting out. If Hakeem was hurt, you didn't know it until it was just too much pain for him to bear.
Exactly.
Same thing with Ewan and all of these guys because they had a one-track mind and they had tunnel vision to a title. Yep. Nothing else matter but that title. Yep. But see, now we live in the age where these guys are getting into social media and they want to be social media stars more than they want to be NBA champions. So if they got 1 million followers on social media, then, you know, if they get a championship, it's okay, but they still got the popularity that everybody looking for in this social media age. So these guys ain't really gunning for that championship like dudes back in the day, because back in the day, they were still hungry. They wasn't making $100 million. They wasn't getting no contract like Hayward to sit on the bench. So these guys really had to get out earning, and they know the only way they were going to get those incentives and those bonuses was to go to championships, to go to playoffs, so that they would bring up their value. But these dudes can bring up their value through social media now, so they don't even really have that urgency or that need for that championship accolade.
And we'll tell you why you're right. I was watching something the other day. Even Charles Barkley has a YouTube podcast. I'm like, because they have a following. These cats they're clocking it. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know that, Ant. Really?
The media show done heard this game. Yeah. Don't you know that they let them guys get on their phones at halftime?
Wow.
To check their emails and to check their text messages and stuff like that. And it be guys over there on the bench on their phones instead of paying attention to the game.
I saw that with Joel Embiid. You're right.
Man, them cats are sitting there on their phone talking to their girl, tweeting out stuff, tweeting out jokes, man.
Yeah. I saw that. Joel Embiid was showing somebody his phone or something. You're 100% right, man. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
They're more concerned about that. Them guys back in the days, their whole entire goal and point for coming to the NBA was to win championships.
That's right.
Because they knew that's where their money was gonna come from.
That's right.
But now you got all of these different veins of revenue that these guys can go through.
That's right.
And then it really is, you know, they don't really have that motivation as much.
That's right.
That's what I'm saying.
Wow. Hey, man, I remember something. I told a story before. I'm going to tell it again. That Kobe Bryant, his last year before he retired, they had him come back in. And they were having all the new cats, Lonzo, Jay Hart. I live in California, by the way. Jay Hart, Brandon Ingram, all them cats in practice, right? And they had Kobe come in and just go off on all of them, man. To see them cats just sitting in a corner and not say a word. You know why? Because they had never seen anyone that intense about the game. They had never seen that. Julius Randle said what helped him, who he is now, the intensity that Kobe taught him, the ferocity, whatever Kobe taught him, he said it got him to that level in his mind now. Watch this. They say, and I'm not talking about the brother, man, because we all been through something as young men. Jay Hart actually went to the Pelican front office and cried and said, "Don't trade me. I don't want to be able to trade it no more." So you see how the NBA now is in a whole different zone and it's too comfortable. So coaches like JB, they're gonna hurt these young men, man. You need. That's why I believe you with a Doc Rivers or a Jason Kidd. Somebody didn't get up in their grill, say, "Man, listen, I come from the same place you come from." Not somebody gonna touch you on all your face like Borrego was touching Melo at the beginning of the season. I'm like, LeVar, stop touching my son in the face, man. I wish my son would let somebody touch him in the face. And I'm not talking about LaMelo, but that's a transfer of spirit, bro. You know that. You ain't don't touch my face, man. Don't touch me in my face. Because if that's the way as a football coach, man, I still see cats in the community that I had to get with, man. They're gonna beat somebody up. I had to take them in the back of the locker room and let them know that ain't happening in my gym. And when we come out today, coach, man, I appreciate you, man. If it wasn't for you, I'd be in jail. I'd be in prison. Some of these cats need that because the passion is too passive.
My phone is about to die on me, man. We've been talking so much.
yeah.
I get down to my last 2%. So
okay,
I just want to let you know I don't want to go out on a just hang up on you. But man, this has been awesome. And yeah, we definitely need some big men, man. We definitely need big men in the game. That's what's going to be necessary if you want to become a championship team. There's no way around it. It's part of the blueprint.
Right. Hey, man, we want to thank everybody for tuning in with D-Mac and Big J. We're going to be here every week, man. We're going to get it twice a week. We're going to be doing this. If you haven't grabbed the membership, D-Mac, tell them the membership ain't that bad, is it?
It is not, man. I love it, and it's helping to grow this.
I see you going out, man. So I got you. Yeah, man. Grab that membership, man. So you can get like D-Mac. Get on here and support and be with us. Ride with us, man. Because guess what? We're taking it, man, to the wheels roll off. So we want to tell everyone, man, we really appreciate you for being a part. Until next time, you know what time. I'm not going to even go there. You know what time it is. But we're out of here, man. Everybody have a great one now. Because we can only be what you allow us to be. Thank you so much. Don't forget to hit that like button. Also, if you feel towards it, please leave us a super chat, and we would appreciate it. Everyone have a great